That's not good. Oh, I feel something there too. My name is Ariane Telgen. I've been working with problem horses of all kinds for over 20 years. Another focus of mine is training both horse and rider. I support riders with competition ambitions up to the advanced levels, but I also help leisure riders with keeping their horses healthy and calm. With my many years of experience as a certified equine physiotherapist and osteopath, I'm in the best position to identify and solve problems on many different levels. To make this support available even over long distances, I also offer online consultations and guidance. This is a successful alternative to a personal introduction here at the stable or to the inpatient admission of your horse. We have a new visitor with us. This is Enno. He's 5 years old and was just recently purchased, more or less. Now he's here for a general checkup. We want to make sure everything is all right with him, and also see if the saddle and other tack fit properly. It's important to check all this before getting started.
About 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks after the carriage ride, we noticed he's stepping shorter with his left front leg. He also tends to hold his tail off to the right. That was actually already noticed during the pre-purchase exam. Someone suggested that maybe his spine should be checked, and he also has a slight club foot in the front, so we wanted to see if that could be an issue. And I didn't have his joints and legs x-rayed because all the flexion tests came back normal. So we decided there was no need for x-rays. Still, I think it makes sense, especially with a newly bought, fairly young horse. Like I said, he's only 5, to have someone experienced take a close look at all the equipment, and I really feel like I'm in the best hands here.
Where is he being kept?
In the open stable.
Ah, okay, in the open stable. That means, does he have hay or haylage?
Yes, light haylage. So the hay he is currently getting is slightly ensiled. He's outside a lot, can always go in and out. And otherwise, he's currently getting a little bit of oats, yes, and mineral feed.
Yes, wonderful. And the tack? Do you ride English?
Western. I ride Western, yes.
That means you also haven't had the tendon scanned?
No.
Only flexion test?
Only flexion test.
And how long have you had him now?
Since the summer holidays started, so 6 weeks, we did the flexion test, stuff like that, blood tests. We also froze blood in case there are any questions later on.
Yes, okay.
Ariane begins by carefully checking Enno's tendons and his overall body. As an experienced osteopath and equine physiotherapist, she looks for any signs of tension, imbalance, or discomfort.
What I notice right away is that you really have to take a close look at a few things. I think that if you do a lot of driving or a lot of trail riding, especially in the hills, and since it's mostly sandy soil there, sand is quite abrasive. And I really think it would help him if he had shoes or hoof boots or something like that. His left hoof is definitely smaller than the right one. I just assumed that the sole contact alone is probably enough to make him want to get off it quickly. And I think that's the very first thing I'd want to try.
And then only the front or all 4?
Well, I actually only know horses that pull a carriage and have all 4 horseshoes. I know the training stable where they actually break horses to harness. They do a lot on the roads, and without shoes or hoof boots, that's just not possible. The wear is way too much. The club foot doesn't really bother me that much. I think it just stands out because the other hoof is so much wider. That's why the left front looks a bit more upright. But I also think they're just really, really short. Maybe they're not growing properly. That's what I was thinking. I could imagine that maybe the sensitivity or the shorter stride would go away because that's really the moment when they step on something, even a small stone or an uneven spot presses into the sole. and then they just hurry over it. So the next thing I notice, and you might know this better since you've had him for a few weeks now, is that he's only 5. For me, that usually means there really shouldn't be any issues yet. What I do notice though, back here, he already has these wind galls on both sides. Just hold his legs still for a moment. If you take a look yourself. If you feel along the tendon, this one is pretty clear. You can feel it easily. It's just a bit soft at the very top. And then go over to the other side and feel there. It's best if he's standing on it, but right now he's taking the weight off. He does that a lot. Is he standing on it now? They're not completely well defined at the top, but that could just be because he's favoring it right now, and it might be a little irritated, or maybe it's always been like that. I can't really say, but those are things I'll keep an eye on. If you come over to this side, you'll see it too. It's the same on the other side. That's what we call wind galls. With him, you can't see them as clearly because of the feathering around his fetlocks, but it's the same right at the bottom too. For me, those are always signs that the joint mechanics aren't quite working perfectly. Maybe he's compensating with his movement, or he's producing too much joint fluid, or it could just be lymph fluid building up there. My question is, do you know if it was like this before?
No.
Those are the kinds of things where I'd say, especially if you're driving or riding a lot and there's that kind of strain, I'd try shoes, and you really just have to keep an eye on it. If the swelling gets worse, it could mean there's more waste fluid being produced because something isn't working quite right. It's not being drained away properly. At 5 years old, that really shouldn't be happening yet. Do you know if at his old stable, since he's only 5, was he driven more or ridden more?
Driven.
So he was probably driven on the road there as well?
Yes.
Single or pair driving?
Both, single and pair.
And do you know if he was switched out when they drove as a pair?
I can't say.
Okay, that's fine. When you ride him, do you ride in the arena or just out on the trails?
Both.
And when you ride him in the arena, does he have a preference to one direction, or is he equally good on both sides?
He bends more easily to the left and not as well to the right. We did a lot of groundwork at the beginning, and he found it very unsettling when I stood on his right side and bending to the right as well. Even when I'm in the saddle, he sometimes looks over at my foot. He can do it to the left just fine, but to the right he can't. I have to encourage him to bend to the right so he makes that same movement toward my foot.
Normally the weight-bearing leg has a bigger hoof, but in his case I'd say it's because of driving, a completely different kind of strain, and also from being on asphalt before. Not anymore, of course, but the wear is much greater on the leg that's working harder. So he doesn't go as well to the right. How is he in the canter? When you ask for canter, does he pick up the right lead better or the left?
I can't really assess that yet. I'm not doing much canter work with him yet.
There, now he's relaxed. Right. Look at that. That's nice. That's really good. You're such a good boy. There we go. Yes, I've already found it. Here's a vertebrate that's a bit off to the side.
Yes.
All right, let's take a look, okay? How is he when you girth him up or anything like that? I think Western saddles usually aren't tightened as much. Does he react at all when the saddle goes on? Or when you tighten the girth?
Not even with the harness, not a big deal.
The nice thing about driving horses is that they're always really relaxed in the hindquarters, and aren't they?
Yes.
They usually don't kick either.
No.
And they are quite, The thing with the crooked tail, did he have that during the trial ride or drive as well?
Yes.
But that doesn't have to be anything serious. Very often it's just a matter of gymnastic development.
Mm-hmm.
It can also depend on how they were positioned in the womb, for example. And if things like crookedness weren't corrected when they were first started under saddle, then that's just how it is. Oops, it's okay. That's just how it often is. Oh, you don't like that, do you? I can tell. Well, with Arabians, for example, that's actually pretty normal,
Yes, exactly. My friend has one.
right? It really is like that. Just recently, I got a call for help from a woman who bought an Arabian, or at least one with a lot of Arabian in him. She had an osteopath out who tried to straighten the tail, and after that, the horse was lame. See, it works, doesn't it? Yes, nice. He's standing well. He does have quite a short croup, though.
Yes.
It's really tucked under, almost like a dog that's scared and tucks its tail. I'm just going to see if he holds it like that on purpose, or if I can get it to relax a bit more. Let me try something, just to see if it's being held tight by the muscles, or if that's really just how it is. I'm guessing your saddle ends right about here in the back.
Yes.
If you take a look yourself in a moment, you'll see there's actually some swelling here too. You can't miss it. Up here in front, you can feel the fascia is quite tight, and further back it gets a bit soft, almost like pudding. His hindquarters are really even, and his tail hangs down evenly too. There, it already cracked once. Good boy. Well done. So would you like to feel a vertebra that slipped off to the side?
Yes, that's the one I thought it would be.
Right, so the spinous processes are actually just straight, and this one is really to the left now.
Yes.
Twisted. And if he tries to bend to the right now, he'd have to pull that twisted position, that twisted rib cage, so to speak, even though it's just part of it, back to the center first. That's already quite uncomfortable for him. That sudden jolt, like when something's out of place in your own body and then trying to move the other way, if you add a saddle on top of that with the rider's weight, it really becomes impossible for him, can be clearly felt. Do you also want to feel? Shall we just do the other thing for a moment? So you need to straighten your head a little, or turn it that way, or you'll tip over. I always prepare the tissue first. There have been some well-known people who would just give a quick adjustment in passing, and the whole horse would arch up all the way to the front. That's just not my style, because all those little vertebrae are connected by ligaments. And if you suddenly force such an extreme movement, something inside can easily get damaged. That's why I prefer to do it gradually, step by step. And then you can really see that. I also like to do this when the saddle is on, but not fully tightened, because then they realize, hey, I can lift my back against the saddle. A lot of horses hollow their backs because there's pressure from above, and they're afraid to really push up into it. If you always ride with the head up, you can't really do anything to counteract that, but now we're already seeing a lot more movement. With him, because his hindquarters are so tucked under, I actually think it's important to flatten out the croup a bit. Back here is the sacrum, which also controls the tail, so to speak. They have points for that. We'll try them out in a moment. They are located here. We need to check. I'll move to the side. Really pay attention to this area here. What happens when I go along here? So, and that's really difficult for him, But here we are, starting to see a reaction, then he becomes flat. That's why some horses carry their tail up to the right or up to the left. It could be a blockage, but it could also just be ligaments that have shortened over the years. Look, your hindquarters aren't tucked under so much after all. And now, any moment, I think the spots are coming up. That's it. You can already feel it take some real strength. I'm using my fingernails now. Normally, if everything moves freely, it's much easier. Now, if you look at your horse from the side, you'll see he looks different.
Yes, I see what you mean.
Crazy, isn't it? That's just how it is. When they're tense for whatever reason, they tighten up and lift their back.
Yeah, it's wild. Crazy.
The hindquarters are tucked under.
Yes, and when he's scared. Yes.
So when you release that tension, they can relax again. Exactly. The best thing is to just position it like you normally do. Then your other horse was probably a lot wider, right? Yes. Now he's standing really straight. Go ahead and stand directly behind him. And the saddle sits a bit to the side. It's easy to see, isn't it? Very clear. We can use the time and take a look from here. Well, the seat should always be level. Would you say the saddle is level, or is it tipping down to the back or to the front? To the back. So about how many centimeters are you lifting it in the back?
About 10?
Yeah, that's really not okay. One thing that's really hard to feel, but it's there, is bridging. That means the saddle makes contact in the front and in the back, but there's a gap in the middle. So he's getting pressure in specific spots. And logically, that's why he holds his back so tight. Smart horse, all the other horses do the same. Oh, I can feel something here too. The screws. Ah, yes. Crazy. Take a look yourself right there.
Here?
And if I had that in my back, oh, and it's exactly where you sit, I understand. This is where you sit. When you're in this saddle, it's right up by the last rib. So let's take a look. Sit right down on it. Your intuition was exactly right. The seat puts the center of gravity too far back. You said 5, right? Oh, you don't like that, do you?
His teeth were actually just done when we got him.
Yes, that hurts, buddy, huh? So I would have said the right side. Wonderful, the dentist was there, it was done. The left side is really sharp. So sharp. If you practice, you could probably do it yourself. But there's a pretty big risk he could bite your finger since all the leftovers are still in there. Now I'll take a look at the jaw joint. Here, take a step back. Wow, that's good. Very well done. Let me take a quick look. So, of course, chewing and eating hard things becomes a bit of torture for him. That really makes a difference.
It's thicker here.
There are a lot of lumps here.
Yes.
Those aren't sharp points on the teeth. That's just muscle. Yes, but muscle always protects. If something hurts, the muscles tense up. Or if an organ or joint is injured or needs protection, you'll first get muscle tension to shield it from outside influences. So that's just muscle sitting on top of everything, and that makes a really big difference.
Yes.
Would you like to feel as well? We're here because you're interested in this, or maybe you're a vet.
What? Yes, sure. Behave yourself, okay?
Can you feel anything or should I help?
I am not sure. It's just...
You always feel those little bumps, and the left side is sharp too. That means he'll avoid stretching to the outside rein because it just hurts there. So what I would recommend if this were my horse, yes, that's really all I can do. I think we've all seen the saddle, yes. It just doesn't work like this. I would also have shoes put on him to help him out.
Okay.
If I were to drive, then I would probably shoe all four so nothing gets short in the back. Alternatively, hoof boots would be an option, but if one is not so skilled at regularly reshaping them to fit, then it's just easier, right?
Yes.
That would just be my suggestion. A dental practitioner, so I always have to put it this way. If I have a toothache, I go to the dentist and not to a general practitioner. If I were you, I'd do those exercises. You can do them every day or after riding. Do them twice a week. However it suits best, so you just always lift the back, especially in the area where the saddle sits. Look at all the points once. Find all the points once. So it's safe to do at home. Exactly. Then you can just try it out. Take a look. That's it. Stay right there. And now see how much pressure you need to use for him to lower his head.
Yes, yes.
This means you now have a homework assignment.
Yes.
Stupid, right?
No, all good.
Homework these points.
Exactly.
The homework is to really find these points.
Yes.
This is something you can try at home. What doesn't work is spending half an hour searching for the exact same spot because these are reflexes. They get weaker each time, of course. The next day, they're just as strong again, but for the moment, they do weaken.
Exactly.
So is there anything else, or can I send you home reassured?
Yes, for now I am. Well, I can't ride right now. That's what I'm naturally thinking, you know?
Well, okay, but you have the alternative. You can drive too.
Yes, that's correct.
And didn't you also say that you have a pad?
Yes, no, I have a pad, but I wouldn't have dared to use it yet because we're not such a well-coordinated team yet. That's just it.
All right,
But maybe I should just do it. Maybe try it with a pad.
try it out. You can try it out in the arena. You don't have to go on a trail right away.
Of course.
Very nice.
Good.
Great.
Thank you.
Yes, don't mention it. That's what I'm here for. I hope I could show you some things, and I would just keep an eye on the swellings. Whether it gets more or stays as it is.
Yes. Okay.
Now Enno is getting loaded up and ready to head home. Today we were able to take a close look at his challenges and give him the support he needs. Thanks to Ariane's experience, Enno and his people have a clear plan for moving forward. We wish them all the best on their journey together.